Hello survivors and welcome back to Dr. Alejandro's lab. Today I'm diving into 19.4 experimental, where I'm going to be showing off a couple of things. Before I was doing all my experiments in 19.3, now that the experimentals aren't going to mess around on here. The thing I want to talk about today is now that AP and HP ammo are finally fixed, how do they actually really interact with the game? And how do those percentages actually matter and come across? Well, I have a few different tests to show you here. One is that because of the difference in the damage between the hollow point ammo and the regular ammo, when it comes to low armor enemies like the zombie bikers, you'll actually see basically the exact same amount of damage coming through. So if I shoot this zombie biker that has 20% damage resist with this pistol, we're getting 34 damage there. But if I shoot it with the HP ammo, which is doubling up its armor, however, it has a much higher base damage rate, we're getting almost the exact same thing. There's one damage point different. So when it comes to these low damage resist enemies, there's not that huge of a difference between the regular ammo and the HP ammo. You won't see a gigantic difference. When you get to the bigger enemies, like the soldiers that have 50% damage resist, then, you know, the HP ammo is just not going to do anything to them. You can shoot them and nothing's going to happen. But what I do want to show off a little bit is how the percentages end up working. So this pistol has 42 damage on it, which means shooting this fallen soldier that has 50% damage resist does 21 damage. If I switch to the armor-piercing rounds, the armor-piercing rounds are 20% armor reduction, and it does actually work as a percentage. So this 50% damage resist soldier zombie will now have 20% of its armor removed, which will end up dropping it down to only 40% damage resist, which is 25.2 damage, or 25 damage for the game. Now, even if I go all the way up in this perception tree, gotta go to 8, and go all the way up to Penetrator Perk, this Penetrator Perk is giving 35%. This combined with the ammo is giving 55%. So this isn't just like taking it directly off the armor, so a zombie with 50 armor isn't getting dropped to 0 if you have armor-piercing rounds and 4 out of 4 on Penetrator. It's instead just doing 55% of that armor rating it had. So since it has 50% damage resist, it's taking a little over half of that away. So now that this pistol that does 42 damage, everything's racked up, I can shoot him, and with that we're doing 33 damage. So we're still missing out on a chunk of damage, around like 25% of our damage, even if we go all the way through. But for the most part, that's the best you're really going to be able to get with all these things. Except for one little difference. One ammo is a little bit different. 7.62 works the same way. 100% armor, 20% target armor. But Magnum ammo is actually a little bit stronger in both regards. And on first, we have the HP Magnum ammo, which is only increasing the target's armor by 90%. Still, that's bad. But with the low armor enemies, that means it's still going to actually be doing more damage than regular bullets, because it's not giving it the full double armor. And with the AP ammo, it's actually doing 25% of the target's armor. So with the AP Magnum ammo and going fully into Penetrator Perk, you can knock out 60% of the target's armor, which isn't necessarily worth it for most enemies. I mean, you're just really going to be pedaling with bullets. But that's just one thing I wanted to say to you guys, so you knew that it works as percentages. So the max you're able to get off of the Magnum armor and the Penetrator Perk is 60% off their armor. So you're never going to be getting all the way down to full damage, true damage. You're always going to be hitting a maximum of like 20 to 25% of the damage. That's just kind of what we get stuck with there. So now we have these zombies that are up here. And the main reason I'm looking at these are when we have this Penetrator Perk. Penetrator Perk is specifying, alright, we're ignoring armor, and armor-piercing rounds can penetrate an additional target to block up to 500 hit points. go up to, next one is 750 hit points, up to here and 1,000 hit points. So when we look at the Demolition Zombie, it's 1,000 hit points and should be able to get penetrated. Radiated Policeman, 902 hit points, should be able to get penetrated. But when we look at the Radiated Biker and the Radiated White, they have 1,010 hit points. So they shouldn't be able to get penetrated by the Penetrator perk, because they have over 1,000 hit points. However, if we come on this side, well, one, we can show you have a line of the soldier zombies. And with the full Penetrator perk, I should be able to shoot through if I line it up right and hit all 5 of them. Whew, got all 5. It worked. Now here, we have 5 radiated bikers. In this circumstance, we should only be able to shoot through and hit the second biker zombie. The reason we should be able to hit the second biker zombie is this just gives penetration, flat penetration. But based on what the tooltips are telling you, it shouldn't penetrate all the way through and hit all 5 of them. But what we will see is it... Well, I missed one of them, but it actually did hit all the way to the back one there. So I had one that was a little bit out of line, so it didn't get the bullet. But it is actually penetrating through all of them. And the reason this all worked is because if we go to the Penetrator perk here, we can see the target armor, 15, 25, 35, 35%. But if we look at the entity penetration count, we see, alright, from perk levels 2 to 4, we're adding 1 to 3. Matches along there. However, there are no HP requirements here. There's nothing on this that's actually setting it to say, oh, this thing needs to have 1,000 or less HP for you to be able to penetrate through it. The only requirement on it is that it's things that come off the perk Deadeye, which is why it still only works for the hunting rifle, marksman rifle, and sniper rifle, because of this tag here that's perk Deadeye. Now, I told you guys that about the whole zombie entity penetration thing, because that's one of the things that could be easily mistaken when you're actually reading through it. This requirement does still actually work, and the reason is it's the aura block of up to X hit points. And with this does actually come into play. So, the reason I wanted to actually show that one off is because when I first got into the game and saw Penetrator perk, I thought that hit points had to do with the additional targets as well, and not just with this other section of it. So, this reads aura block of up to 1,000 hit points, and that aura block is what the 1,000 hit points is actually referring to. So, in this circumstance, I can actually run around to the backside of here, and we have this flagstone with 500 hit points, and let's get a good shot. And I can shoot this businessman right through the wall, because this block is under 1,000 hit points. Concrete has 1,500. I can shoot all around, and I'm not actually hitting this businessman. So, the talk before, I wanted to make sure people realized, because it was a mistake I made when I first did the Penetrator perk, was that HP value was trying to force it to, you know, go only through zombies that had 1,000 or less hit points, or 750 or less hit points. But no, that portion is just on blocks. But once again, guys, thank you for coming out and checking me out here in Dr. Alejandro's lab. I do hope to see you again. I'll be coming out with some more different videos. I still have a lot of things that are inside the game's code that I do want to talk about with everyone. And this was just one thing. I just wanted to show off the Penetrator perk properly now that the actual 19.4 came out and Penetrator actually works again. So, this is Dr. Alejandro signing out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next one.